My topic kind of came from a conversation we were having on stream last night, and this is something that everyone knows this is happening. But then some people are like, no, you're paranoid, like it's not real. So I want your guys' takes. I'm pretty sure I know where you all stand on it. But last night we were talking on stream, and the conversation of beer got brought up, right? And I don't drink beer. This will lead into it. So, and we were talking about how they make it and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, what's the beer they make out of corn? And I couldn't think. I go, it's not Coors, is it? And I was like, no, it's not Coors. So I looked it up. I go, we found out it was Busch, right? Well, 5 minutes later, I open up my phone. I'm scrolling through Twitter, and I have an ad for Coors Light. The only one I mentioned by name, I have the ad for on my phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
then later on in the night, someone made an off comment. Listening. Yeah, well, that's the topic right here. Someone made an off comment topic about he said a joke like, I wish I could drink my tuna juice without the pulp. Like just something gross, right? Something that no one would ever say.
That's something Trevor would say.
That is
okay,
he
but
loves tuna and pulp.
So I'm scrolling through TikTok this morning then, and a video pops up where a guy says the same exact thing. Like, do you ever wish you could drink your tuna juice without the pulp? And I'm like, that's disgusting. Like, so I mean, clearly they're listening, right? Like your microphone on your, well, that's a joke though, but like it's the fact that it's clearly happening.
It's adware.
So.
Yep.
And then someone I said last night, I go, they're listening, like they know that we were talking about it. And then people are like, no, they're not listening to you. You're being paranoid, like yada yada yada. So,
oh no, they're listening.
Do you
absolutely is the thing?
And they sell that to head companies.
See, absolutely. And for those of you guys, I guess they can't hear me if I say this. Maybe for those of you guys watching live, Mediacom's having issues. Mediacom's being Mediacom. They've been doing this the last 3 nights to me. It's starting to really piss me off. But anyways, it's still being recorded, so the YouTube version will not be affected whatsoever. But anyways. One, how is this because everyone knows this is happening with them listening through your phone's microphone, and they're pushing ads to what you're talking about. Everyone knows it's happening. How is this legal?
Oh, this gets into some huge things because
you wonder. You assume people do legal things.
Yeah. Well, I know, but
government-wise.
Can I start you off at a starting point here?
With everyone knowing it's happening,
Weston's got a good handle on
how is this going on still.
Okay, first off, when you install Windows, there are a bunch of selections you can make that are going to say, do you want to enable Cortana? Do you want to enable these ad specializations? That actually gives them permission to listen in on you.
Yep.
So first off. This is something coming from somebody who studies cybersecurity. Always say no, okay? Whenever they ask for permission to do something, just say no. Trust me on this, okay? And for those of you who buy those that are pre-installed, you can go into your settings, go into the privacy settings, and then you can turn those off, okay? I always recommend, that's the first thing I do.
Yeah.
It's still not going to stop it completely because there's actually, do you guys remember the... leaks by Edward Snowden back in the early 2010s.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the one living in Russia, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, he actually released a bunch of data on something called the Five Eyes. Have you heard of those before?
I've heard the name. I don't know what
it was actually referenced in the Craig Bond movies as one of the big bad things. But it's actually based on a real organization. It's the United States, Great Britain, Australia, Canada, New Zealand. Mm-hmm. They actually have an agreement that they use to exchange information with each other, but that's not the extent of what they exchange. They actually have each other spy on their own citizens and then give the information to the government because our governments don't allow them to spy on the citizens within their constitutions. Yep. So they have their allies spy for them and just give them the information because there's no law against that. And so that's part of what they do, and that's how they get a lot of the information on you. I remember I used to joke with my roommate Alec about oh, hey, the CIA is listening to you. No, it's actually not the CIA. It's whatever it is in the other countries. So when you speak into your phone, odds are it's Canada or Great Britain that's listening to you, recording what you say, and then giving that to the CIA, FBI, whoever.
So Canada's listening right now?
So one of them probably
Screw you,
is.
Canada.
That's actually this evidence was thrown out in there, and they claim we've stopped doing that, but we know they have.
Yeah, no.
Let's be real. There's no way they've stopped.
Because our government's very honest.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Even if we didn't agree to these things, it's the government, and
Mhm.
this is why
Since
I'm a
when do they do
libertarian.
things for the
Yeah.
benefit of the people.
This is why I don't
I mean,
agree with the government, is
You-
because they don't care about people. They care about
No, they
themselves.
absolutely don't.
yeah, I mean, look how
And-
far they went around in the loopholes to be able to do this and spy on their own people.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to get too big into conspiracy theories, but kind of what you're talking about is going on right now with like the COVID-19 virus. And like there's a bunch of stuff coming out now about how they had planned this virus in 2018 and that they were planning on this thing being kind of the thing that starts a world government, like a single world government, and like this virus, they were planning on this virus taking like this make global pandemic, so people all had these passport cards, and it was like this universal system that they were going to put into place, and it was
Good luck with that.
yeah, and it was like it's actually coming out. Like there's a good few like actual articles that have leaked and stuff, and it's very interesting to look into. I don't believe all of it, because some of it comes from Alex Jones, and I don't know.
That guy's a moron.
Well,
He has been right on a
He has
surprising number
that
of
is the
things,
that's
though.
true. I think he's a nut.
Turning the frogs gay.
They do though.
Yeah.
That actually is a thing. If no, 100% that's a thing. There's actually it's a chemical that actually turns frogs their gender. It switches their gender, and the government like developed it not for this purpose, but
Haven't frogs done that naturally though?
A lot of animals
but
have,
like
yeah.
this is like this chemical like that actually makes them do it, and so that's what he was meant when he said that. But no,
It's so memeable.
well, one thing I will say is this has actually been true of news for centuries.
Yeah.
Behind every crazy story, there's always a grain of truth somewhere inside
Oh, yeah.
it.
Yep,
It's
Yeah.
got to come
absolutely.
from somewhere.
It's
Yeah.
got to
It's like
come from
stereotypes.
somewhere.
Yep.
So even though you may say like you don't trust everything, there's something in there that's true.
Yep.
Otherwise, it wouldn't have been made as that kind of news. You know. I don't know
Yeah,
which
you're right.
part of it's true or not, but that's something we just have to
Yeah.
discern. You know.
Yeah.
But don't believe everything. you
Well,
read
no,
those
don't believe
things.
everything.
Yeah,
but-
no,
Just
absolutely.
making that
And that's why I
clarification
say,
there.
like, I don't trust this theory 100%. Like, I think there is actually some truth to it, and there's a lot of evidence to prove a lot of the things in it. But there are some things that are like a little bit far fetched. But
Yeah.
the conclusion, for me at least, is the fact that each government, you can't trust them, and they are not out for the betterment of people. As much as politicians say that when they try to get voted in, no matter if you're Democrat or Republican, they don't care. They care about their own wealth and their own well-being, and so
There you go, Zach.
It's true.
Never
It's
let a
just-
good crisis go to waste.
If you didn't think,
Yeah.
if you didn't know that the government was only for their own self-interest,
You're an idiot.
look
Yeah.
at perfect fact right here. Look at all the treason that went on right before COVID was announced.
yep,
The insider trading that went down
Yep.
because
Yep.
they knew what stocks were going to go down because COVID was
and they
crazy
knew which
and what
ones
was
to
gonna
invest
go up.
into
Yep.
with like the
Yep.
masks
and all of the freaking already millionaires in
Well, God,
Congress
Nancy Pelosi
got rid
has
of
made
everything and then added
hundreds
on
of
other
millions.
stuff right before they announced
yeah,
everything that was going to go down.
Yep.
So, and what's happened to them? That's literally treason
yep,
by definition,
Yep.
and it's illegal. But since they're the ones that make the laws, it doesn't really
They're the ones that don't have to
apply to
follow,
them.
yeah.
So
Yep.
absolutely.
But getting back on topic though, like, is it the government selling the advertisement? It's like it's Facebook listening in, it's Instagram listening in, and it's Twitter listening in. Like all these companies they get into the microphone on your phone. It's so clear that they do this because you talk about something and the next day, or even in my case, 5 minutes later, you have an ad for that exact thing.
Yeah.
they're funded
And,
by the same people that the government's funded by.
Yep, exactly.
And
All the bribery.
you guys all know John. He was the start of this show. Logan actually took his seat after he moved, but he was
Love
at
John.
Walmart with his wife one time, and I think it was Magic the Gathering. They were talking about a specific box, and Brittany said, "I really like the artwork on that box for Magic." They get home and they're seeing advertisements for that exact box on Facebook.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
all had moments like
Like
that.
Yeah.
everyone has that moment, and it's just like, how is this legal at all?
It's just-
How is this something
it's
that they
not.
can do?
It's
It's
just-
not, but they don't
that's-
care.
that's the world
'Cause
we
that's
live
where the
in.
money is.
It's freaking stupid. It's one of those things, and then you get the people that are, oh no, they're not doing that. They definitely are.
No, 100%.
100%.
those
They
sheep.
are. They are
Yeah.
listening.
We call them morons.
I'm in cybersecurity, and I'm telling you right now, they do that.
It happens.
Yeah.
Okay, they do that.
Yeah,
It
it's
does.
If you
not
say
like-
they aren't, you're naive. At best.
yeah. I mean, they
So-
definitely they track you everywhere you go on the internet, and they. What I mean,
That's your first mistake, Zach. You joined TikTok.
That
Get
is-
off it, friend.
That is very true.
Get off
That
it.
is very true.
It's true.
so no, like, I understand with cookies, like they'll follow you on the internet that way. Like that one, I get. Every website they've been doing that for years. It's more the fact that they're listening to this conversation right now, and if I were to mention something, what's
feel
something
sorry
none
for
of us
you.
have ever have talked about, like or would have any interest in looking up. So let's just say, for instance, a pet carrier to put a cat in the backseat of my car. If we started talking about that, it's not something I'd ever look up. It's not something I'd have a need for.
It will now.
But now I'm gonna get ads for pet carriers for putting a cat in the backseat of my car when I scroll through Twitter or Facebook. I almost guarantee you now, and we all will, because we're all here and your phones are here.
It's the world we live in.
You know?
It's pretty garbage.
And I don't understand. Everyone knows it's happening. How
because we don't have power as the
no,
public. We
it
can't
doesn't-
change things.
Exactly. I
People
mean, like,
can change things.
look at it now
This
with.
is going to get the FBI on us, but
Yeah,
if
I mean,
someone dropped a nuke on the White
I don't
House-
want. I'm trying not to
Who's
get.
the actress that said that?
Was it Meryl Streep?
No, the
Or was
one
it
that,
Helen Mirren?
the one that was up on stage during that
Or-
feminist
or,
rally said, "I've had
gosh.
dreams of, or I've thought about blowing up."
Madonna.
Was it
Yeah,
Madonna that
Madonna,
said that?
yeah.
Madonna,
I thought about
Yeah.
blowing up the
See,
White
but,
House.
like,
yeah.
Not trying to get too into like
I know.
politics, but like
We've kind of gone off topic here,
but I
but that's
think-
all right.
you
When
just got to
don't
look
we?
at it with like COVID, right? Like obviously that's an issue I don't really want to discuss because that's
a
very
whole-
controversial.
That's a whole nother
But, like,
podcast.
We're gonna
don't
get
talk about
canceled
that.
off
if
of
we
YouTube
look
now
at
for
if we
this.
look at people now, the majority of let's just keep it in the States, right? The majority of people in the United States are kind of over it and like ready and like are done wearing
The
masks
majority,
and all
yeah.
this stuff. But what the government's still pushing stuff, and like that's
That's because
another
they just
example.
want power.
Exactly. That's
They're
the
reaching
reason
for
they
There's
do
reasons
ads.
to do it is because they want people, they want disunity.
Yes.
They want all this crap. They want people scared and afraid. They want media to point them in their own directions that they control because it
Yep.
gives them more control over the people.
Yep.
It puts a different focus on what the people are seeing instead of
Yeah.
them doing their own crap.
Yep. Exactly.
You know
It's all
what,
in
though?
this
Like
direction.
certain people's issues with mishaps in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
That has been pushed over. Media doesn't talk about it unless it's the conservative side or whatever. For the
Yeah.
most part.
Yeah.
It's all focused on what they want because they want to move around in the shadows in the background and do what they want and give
Yeah.
them
Exactly.
control.
They want
You know what though?
This.
To be fair, there is a lot of unity right now. The whole "Let's go, Brandon," that
The
You just-
whole country is disunity, man. That's all it is right now.
there's a bunch of unity against Joe Biden. I think that's hilarious. But
I mean, there's
the,
always unity within party.
There's disprove. This
But
is
there's
even-
idiocy within party
Yeah,
too.
even
I
like
think-
when you get stadiums though in like super liberal
Yeah.
California, they're chanting "F Joe Biden." I'm like, you know what?
But yeah,
Like,
at the same
I
time
mean, there's
though,
just as many people that are
Those people
the
have never
opposite.
been more united though. That's what I'm saying. Like in the last year, in the last 9 months or whatever, those
It's
people
still-
have never been
it's
more
still
It's
united.
that process. It's the same thing
Yeah.
over and over again,
yeah, it's
depending whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's craziness.
yeah, it's just the world we live in, and I hate that we have ads. That when we just talk about things, we just get ads for them, and that's just how that works. But like
Yeah, get ready for the ads about pet carriers. I'm telling you.
at the same time, like that's just kind of the reality, and that's just it should be this
Unfortunately.
thing that like we just need to be careful and
I'm actually
make
gonna open
sure.
up Facebook and see if I get an ad for a pet carrier.
Quite possibly. But you know what makes me so angry? Like Facebook is all ads now, right?
Yeah,
Mostly,
Like,
yeah.
everything. I will like go in and say, "Don't show this ad anymore. I don't want to see anything from this," and it'll show up the next day. The
Yep.
same. It doesn't freaking listen.
like
Nope. And another thing I hate about it is if you pause over one of their things for just a moment, you'll suddenly start getting a whole bunch more of those further
Yep.
down. And
Yep.
that annoys me like crazy. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I stopped to get a drink of tea, okay?
Yep.
I don't want to see more of this. I just wanted a sip of my frickin' tea.
yep.
Okay?
Exactly.
Well, you know what? You're gonna get ads for tea now.
You know what's
You know what?
funny?
That's
That-
fine. I'll take tea.
There's
At least it's better than some of the
there's
other
a
things
funny
you tried showing
example of
me.
this actually that happened a few weeks ago. We were hanging at David's house, and for some reason I can't remember why me and Dan were looking at like Halloween, or it's me and Trevor. We're looking at Halloween
Cat
costumes
costumes.
for cats, and so I looked up funny like anime costumes for cats.
Found an awesome Deku one.
We found some sweet, funny looking cat costumes, but the word cat, anime, and costume should not go together because the entire next day
Furry cosplay.
I've gotten furry costumes in
Oh
my search.
no!
My YouTube literally like if you look at how YouTube has
I
ads
hate it.
too, like
Yep.
where they'll scroll through like
Yep.
stuff you can
You're
buy.
getting nothing but furry
Literally
stuff.
ever since then now I have furry suits pop
Oh
up in it.
God!
And I'm like, oh no. So
Logan's over here like Michael Scott. No, God, please no.
I really am. But it is as stupid as that is, and as much as I hate that, it is kind of funny that happened.
It's kind of funny.
Next thing you know, it's gonna like get in Logan's brain. He's actually gonna start buying these furry suits, and Logan's gonna show up.
This is how they do it.
Logan's
this
gonna
is
show
how
up to the
furries
podcast.
reproduce. Logan is going to become one. He's gonna come in like a fox suit next time.
I was gonna say, like next week, Logan's gonna show up with a tail. You know, like...
What is this? What? It's just me, guys. Logan, are those ears on the top of your head? What? No.
I just thought it was so funny. Like, I didn't even think about that. Like, we literally found like a really funny cat like Deku costume, and then we found one that was I'm trying to think of who it was. Just like a few like big anime characters, and then the next day it was showing
furry stuff.
Well, it would show like cat costumes too, but it would show like furry suits. And I'm like, oh gosh, why? And first off, side note, those things are way expensive.
Are they really?
Yes, like way absurdly expensive. I'm like,
Cosplay
why?
stuff like that is crazy.
Yeah, cosplay in general is.
Yeah, but I was just
Especially good cosplay.
holy crap.
Logan's gonna show up next week, and he's gonna have a tail, and that's when the talk's
I
gonna
surely
start.
hope not.
No.
Just
I've
as
never-
a joke.
And then we'll have to.
I should.
We'll have
as
to
a
do you
joke.
like Goku and cut it off.
And then I'll just become a giant.
We'll use the bayonet that's on the desk over here. Just
That would actually be. I should do it as a joke, but that is something I just will never understand. Is that side of things?
no. There's a lot about the internet that I don't understand. A lot about people in general I don't understand. And I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to stuff like that, I don't want to understand.
Because like, to me, it's
Could
like,
be all
is
of your
that
ads now,
not?
so you will.
Oh,
I guess
God.
this might be like too off topic, but like, isn't that considered bestiality? Or
Depending on how you feel about it.
Are
Yeah.
they having sex?
sometimes?
Is that what you're thinking about, Logan?
No, but
Logan's
like-
over here like maybe I
I'm
could do
pretty
more than
sure,
just a
like,
tail.
isn't it
Why did like just dressing up turn into like sexual things?
I'm pretty sure it's a sexual
Logan,
thing.
what is going on
I'm
here?
almost
We need to have a
positive.
talk.
There's a sexual thing for everything on the internet.
Can we?
Sure.
Can we
I'm
just take
pretty
the time
sure-
to appreciate in this episode now? Logan's talked about what penis would open up for the other, and now he's talking about furries having sex. Like this is derailed.
Your
so
family friendly
far.
rating is gone.
Okay, am I like actually? I thought that was like actually like just a sexual thing. Like I didn't think
kink?
it was.
Like,
Yeah,
Or
I thought
fetish.
I didn't know.
I'm sure it is. Yeah,
For some
But
people, it is. Other people, I think
that's
they
not
just like,
always just a specific side of it. I think
I
people
always
just like
understood of
dressing
it.
up
It
as-
was straight up just a kink, and that was all
stuff.
it was.
No, so I do know some people like from
Yeah,
Twitch.
you're
and
in
stuff
for a
that-
good one, Zach.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
this has been
this is-
Hope
great.
you're enjoying.
I do know like some people from Twitch, their whole thing is like they'll go to conventions and they have like a character they dress up as, and it's like they cosplay as a different animal. But I don't think it's a sexual thing. I think it's
Okay.
just like I think it's like
a lot
okay,
of-
like I know one person. He's like, okay, so this is my wolf character. I like as a cosplay thing, like I'm a wolf or what. Like now when you're
Gotcha.
That's something different.
that-
Cosplay is a whole other topic,
Well, that's
which
what I'm
is
saying.
really in depth.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
kind of
Yeah.
cool, actually.
Like some of
I
the
do like
people with the
cosplay.
furry stuff, it's
Yeah.
more of a cosplay thing. But then you definitely do
Yeah.
get the ones that use it more as
that's
a fetish and a
that's
kink and stuff like
yeah.
that.
That's the more tolerable version. Is just the
Yeah.
cosplay
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
It gets weirder after that, and we don't
Yeah.
need to talk about it.
No,
Yeah.
I don't want
But-
to talk about it.
That whole thought process, like Adam Savage from MythBusters has a really sweet TED talk about cosplay and
Okay.
what that means. Like,
Dude,
check it
he
out.
does
It's
some
actually
sweet-
really
He
awesome.
does some sweet cosplay.
Like he did No Face from
Yep,
Spirit Away. That's what he talks about in
Spirited
it.
Away.
Like,
He did.
check it out though. That's a really
Yeah.
cool talk that kind of goes
He's
in
done,
depth
like,
of what you're talking
Alien.
Yeah. I just love the fact that this episode or this topic has started out with me ranting about getting a beer ad on Twitter to now we're talking about furry kinks.
Yeah.
Like, just think about the
That was
trail.
Logan.
Just-
That was
that was-
Logan.
That's all Logan. I
That
know.
was
But like,
all
just,
Logan.
just think about the trail that we took to
Yeah.
get.
That was. But yeah. So don't. Moral of the story: don't look up cat costumes on, your Google search history or whatever, because
Point taken.
you will get furry ads.
Point taken. Wasn't it you? You looked up. I think it was you. We were having this conversation. You looked up playmats. Like
Oh, that
That's
ticked me
actually
off.
like
That's-
you could turn that into Google. There's people that look for that stuff and take it away.
Yeah, we should have because we both. This
I
happened
opened
like
up an incognito tab
this
with
happened-
a VPN.
this happened. What? Probably 2 months, 3 months ago now.
It was whenever I bought that Charmander playmat, and that was
Yeah,
probably about 3-4 months.
because
ago.
I think what we're doing is you weren't streaming, and so I popped into Discord and just hung out and was playing.
No,
with
I
you,
was
whatever.
streaming.
Yeah, I know you were streaming.
Oh, I thought you said you weren't.
No,
So, okay.
yeah, you were streaming,
Okay.
and I jumped in and we were playing together. I think we were Pixelmon maybe.
Yeah, probably.
But I was like, oh, that's a sweet playmat you got. I could actually want to get one. And so I looked up playmats. Literally, all I typed in was playmat.
I think you typed in,
and
was it anime playmat?
No,
Isn't it
I
Pokemon,
straight up.
Or was it Pokemon
no,
playmat?
Yeah, it was
Pokemon
Pokemon.
Pokemon playmat, and you
playmat.
hit shopping on Google,
Yep.
and you got nothing but anime porn.
Yes, it was hentai stuff, and it was like, literally like, why?
Which
What-
is wrong. Like
No.
that shouldn't
Mhm.
show
Well,
up
so
for
then-
especially like
so
kid-friendly
then, like-
stuff.
Oh, absolutely
It's
not.
like-
No, exactly.
That
And
should
so
be turned into Google.
I kind of like,
and they'll switch
I
that.
kind of like was like, okay, well, how much of a general search can you get to get these get these results? And so I just took away Pokemon and just put playmat in. That's all it was. It had like, it was actually really weird.
Extremely graphic.
It was like, so it was a mixture of those hentai like giant mouse pads basically, and actual like baby playmats. And I'm like,
That's
this
true,
is
yeah.
not
Two things that shouldn't be
this
together.
is not
Yeah.
right. This is not right at all. And I was like, why? I literally just wanted to find like a cool looking Pokemon playmat like that, but
Yeah.
you cannot. And I'm actually curious now if it's the same thing. Like, I wonder if they
No,
fixed
because
that.
we went through like even a couple hours later, and I was like, I wonder if
Yeah.
it would still do that, and it didn't show up that
Yeah.
way. So
I
they
just thought
had
it
it
was-
fixed.
Yeah.
But we just happened because I even VPN'd into like LA or something, like
Yeah.
somewhere far away, and I used an incognito window.
Yeah.
So like like there, I wasn't logged into anything. They already there wasn't like my information. There was VPN, so it wasn't even coming from this house on that server
Yep.
end, and I was still getting it. So like just a
Yep.
general search for a
Yeah.
new person on the internet was getting that.
And that's like
It's because they're still hearing on this side of your VPN, and that's still getting passed along
Yeah.
into the servers.
But what
Yeah.
I'm saying
It
though
was
is
just a
like,
break in the search algorithm.
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
and
it
that
shouldn't have been there.
that's like a disclaimer too. Like, it wasn't just like, that's not just like, oh yeah, I have a weird search issue. Like, we tried it out, and Jordan had the
Yes.
exact same results.
yes.
So, yeah, it was
Okay, I see
definitely
what you're
not good.
saying then.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the fact that I VPN'd into
Okay,
LA and I
then you did the same search. Okay,
Yeah,
that
same-
makes more
yeah.
sense.
same
Us-
search and I got the same thing.
Yep, exactly. Because Jordan
So
was
it
like,
was-
"What the heck do you look up all the time?" Like joking about it,
Okay.
and then so he did the same thing.
I
He's like,
misunderstood what
"Oh
you were
yeah,
saying
like
before,
legitimately,
so-
you get that."
Yeah, that's just a
So-
Google break in the search.
Yeah, 100%.
algorithm.
But
That's all
we
that-
are so
makes
far
sense.
off topic
Yeah.
now. So, anyways, reeling it back in.
Oh
Do you think it's ever gonna stop? With
No,
the
no,
mic?
absolutely
You
not.
don't think
It
it ever will?
no, it's
Nope.
gonna get worse.
You think it's,
It's only gonna get worse.
Yep,
Okay.
only get worse.
way worse.
Absolutely.
And at what point we're gonna get like super conspiracy theory here? At what point do you think governments are going to start using, like with my Alexa sitting over there, using what we say without that thing on against you to be like, okay, well, you're talking bad about this person, now we're gonna come arrest you for like like.
Hopefully, Rapture comes before then.
But how long?
Hopefully.
How
It's-
far
it's
away
either
are
going- Not that far.
we? You don't think we're far?
100 years?
Oh, so I mean that's pretty far though.
No, within 100 years, it will
Yeah.
either be full, like, government dictatorship or
Well,
war
doesn't-
happens.
I think
Is
it kind
it-
of depends on how the
doesn't
next like 5 years. go
China
here in the
do that
US.
already?
Oh, China already does.
China
it.
already
Yeah,
does.
but they
I
have a
was saying,
government that
They're a
permits that
communist
anyway.
government,
Yeah.
though, so
China's already like
It's whether-
way down
whether the
line.
people
by the way, China,
step
Taiwan's
up
a
again.
country, so
to stop some
Free
of
Hong
this
Kong.
stuff, like the socialism and fascist kind of ideologies some of our government has.
Yeah.
It's whether that, and also on the other side, which is not good either, but is whether the people step up. I think a lot of our people have a good enough population of the U.S. citizenship has enough common sense to join together and stop the highest amount of craziness that the government has. It will eventually probably start a war, though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh.
Oh,
And
that's how
And
I
it just
feel.
comes down to whether military backs government or military backs people. And I'm guessing a lot of the military will back people.
I'd say a majority of the military back people, and then also the fact that you have an army with the people as well.
I mean, it's a militia, yeah. But
Well, you get what I'm saying.
yeah,
Like,
I know.
And that's exactly why, like,
But
you
that
know,
opens
this
up
is
topics to
This is a
Russia
different topic,
and China
but-
joining in right that in the turmoil, and
well, that's what I'm saying. Like everything, depending on, I'd say, I don't know what the next
I mean that's just
next
crazy
5
conspiracy
years.
theory talk.
Yeah.
If it doesn't turn around within the next 5 years, it's only going to get significantly worse. But that's
Oh,
conspiracy
putting
theory.
Regardless, it's
in
still
the
going to
water.
get significantly worse.
They're just gonna keep putting chemicals in the water that turn the frogs gay.
All right, so
I say we end this off.
I was gonna say, I think
Yeah.
we should probably end this topic now before it gets even more out of
From
hand.
beer to cat carriers to furry sex to hentai playmats
To gay frogs.
to World War conspiracy
this
theories.
this whole topic is just reason why you should be a libertarian.
This whole topic.
So-
Bull Moose Party.
So
So,
let's move on to Weston.